Aero Storage Products. Introducing the EG-108 Aero Elite Shed Assembly Video. Before you begin the assembly, please make sure to read the assembly manual thoroughly, as it contains important safety warnings and assembly tips. Care must be taken when handling various pieces of your building, since some pieces may contain sharp edges. Please note that there are some steps in the assembly process that might require two people to help with the assembly. Some components can be heavy or unwieldy. Please use a second person when doing assembly involving these parts. For assembly support, please give us a call or visit us online. The storage shed can be built directly on the ground, on a wood platform, or on a concrete slab. Choose a location, and make sure the base is flat and level to provide adequate support for the building. Check the assembly manual for a complete parts list. The following tools are recommended for this assembly. Step 1. Assembling the floor frame.
Begin step 1 by locating the front floor frame, part 11380.
Next, locate one more front floor frame, and place it over the other frame. Make sure the frames overlap at about 11 7/8 inches. Place the frame on top of the other, and verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 119 1/2 inch long.
To secure the frames, attach the frames using 4 part 65923 small bolts, and 4 part 65103 hex nuts.
2 of the bolts get inserted from the bottom, while the other 2 bolts gets inserted from the top, as shown. Hold the nut in place, and fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps and assemble one more set of frames. Set one set aside for now.
Next, attach the ramp, part 11363, to the previously assembled front floor frames.
The ramp gets mounted on top of both frames, and overlap both frames. The front of the assembly will be set up, with the ramp facing inward. There are 2 holes on each side of the ramp. Match these holes with the holes of each frame.
Secure the ramp using 4 part 65004 screws.
Insert the screws through the allocated top holes on the ramp, and into the frame. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Place the assembly aside for now.
Next, locate 2 side floor frames, part 11362, and overlap the frames together.
Make sure the frames overlap at about 11 7/8 inches. Place the frame on top of the other, and verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 95 1/2 inch long.
Secure the frames together using 4 part 65923 screws, and 4 part 65103 nuts.
Matching the holes of each frame, insert 2 screws through the bottom of the frames, and 2 screws through the top of the frames. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps, and attach 2 more floor frames, as previously shown. Next, take all previously assembled frames, and attach the frame assemblies together at each corner, as shown. Make sure to attach, and overlap, the assembly. Verify that the floor frame is both square and level at this point, or the holes might not line up properly.
Next, locate the corner where frame parts 11362 and 11380 meet. Overlap the corner as shown, and secure both frame assemblies using 2 part 65004 screws. Note that the smaller hole should be underneath the larger hole. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the remaining corners. Once all corners are tightly secured, verify that the frame remains squared and leveled. Measure diagonally to make sure the frame is square. When the diagonal measurements are equal, the frame is square. Do not fasten your floor frames to your base at this time. You will anchor your building after it is erected. Step 1 is now complete. Step 2, Pre-assembly. Begin step 2 by locating the rear wall angle, part 11383. Next, locate one more rear wall angle,
and overlap the angles at each end, matching the two end holes.
Attach the angles using two part 65923 bolts, and two part 65103 hex nuts.
Insert the bolts through both angles and fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. Verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 117 inches long. Set the assembly aside for now.
Next, locate one side wall angle, part 11382.
Locate one more side wall angle, and overlap the angles at each end, matching the two end holes.
Secure the angles using two part 65923 bolts, and two part 65103 hex nuts.
Insert the bolt through the angles, and fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver. Verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 92 3/4 inch long. Repeat these steps for one more set, and secure two more side wall angles together. Set assemblies aside for now.
Locate a roof beam, part 11386.
Next, locate one more roof beam. Push the end of the beams together, and overlap the beams, matching the two bottom holes.
Secure the two beams from the bottom using two part 65923 bolts, and two 65103 nuts.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 96 1/4 inch long. Repeat these steps, and assemble 4 sets of beams.
Next, take one of these assemblies, and secure using 6 part 65923 bolts, and 6 part 65103 nuts.
Insert the bolts through the center 6 allocated holes. Fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for one more set of beams, and place aside for later use. Next, place 2 sets of beams together, back to back. The end view should show the beams back to back.
Secure the center of the beams using 6 part 65923 bolts, and 6 part 65103 nuts.
Insert the bolts through both set of beams, and fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. Next, add 2 more bolts with nuts on both ends of the beam assembly. After fully tightening all hardware, set the beam assemblies aside.
Proceed by locating the lintel, part 11365. Next, place 2 end lintels, part 11385, on each end of the lintel.
Push both end lintels towards the lintel, and match the end holes.
Secure the lintels using 1 part 65923 bolt, 1 part 66646 washer, and 1 part 65103 nut on each end.
Insert one bolt through the second hole from the end of the lintel, and insert another set of hardware on the open hole next to it. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 118 1/4 inch long. After assembling, place the lintel assembly aside.
Next, locate the wall channel, part 11381.
Locate one more wall channel, and matching the 2 end holes, push the channels towards each other.
Secure the channels using 2 part 65923 bolts, and 2 part 65103 nuts.
Insert the screws through both channels. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 118 1/4 inch long. Set the channels aside.
Finally, locate the wall channel, part 11370.
Locate one more wall channel, and matching the 2 end holes, push the channels towards each other. Matching the 2 end holes, push the channels towards each other.
Secure the channels using 2 part 65923 bolts, and 2 part 65103 nuts.
Insert the screws through both channels. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Verify that the finished, overall length of the assembly is about 94¼ inch long. Repeat these steps, and assemble one more set of channels as previously shown. Step 2 is now complete. Step 3, assembling the corner panels.
Begin step 3 by locating the corner panel, part 11391, and standing it upright. Next, locate the wall panel, part 11342, and attach it to the corner panel.
Place the wall panel towards the interior corner, and push it in place, matching the 4 allocated holes.
Secure the upper portion of the panels using 1. Part 65923 bolt, 1. Part 66646 washer, and 1. Part 65103 nut.
The nut goes on the inside, while the bolt and washer go on the outside panel. Fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps, and secure the 3 remaining bolts. After all hardware is tightly secured, repeat these steps and assemble one more set of panels as previously shown. Set panels aside for now.
Next, locate 1 wall panel, part 11342, and 1 corner panel, part 11340.
Matching the corners, push the panels towards each other.
Starting with the top hole, secure the panels using 1. Part 65923 bolt, 1. Part 66646 washer, and 1. Part 65103 hex nut.
Fully tighten the screw using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps, and secure the 3 remaining bolts. Repeat these steps, and assemble a total of 2 corner panel sets. After all panels have been assembled, they will be attached to the base frame. Locate the previously assembled base frame. The front section of the frame has the ramp facing inward. With some assistance, place the previously assembled panels onto the bottom base frame assembly. The following panel assembly sets are attached to each corner, as shown.
Starting with the front right corner, secure the wall panel, part 11391, onto the front floor frame using 2. Part 65004 screws, and 2. Part 66646 washers. Secure the corner panel, part 11342 using 1 screw, and 1 washer to the side floor frame.
Insert the screws through the panels, and into the bottom frame. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite, rear corner.
The back panels, part 11342, and part 11340, get attached using 1. Part 65004 screw, and 1. Part 66646 washer each.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Finally, repeat these steps and secure the remaining panel assemblies. After all panels have been tightly secured to the base frame, step 3 is now complete. Step 4, attaching the wall angle. It is recommended that someone assist you with this step. Begin step 4 by locating the front side of the building, and the following wall angle assemblies. The following wall angle assemblies will be attached to the corner panels on the location shown. Place the wall angles with the flat face up against the wall, facing the inside of the corner panels, and matching the angle holes with the corner panel holes.
Starting with the front, secure the side wall angles, part 11382, to the right side of the building, onto panel, part 11342. Attach the channel to the side panel using 1. Part 65004 screw, and 1. Part 66646 washer.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side, and attach the rear wall angles to the back corner panels. Make sure to overlap the corners, as shown. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side, and remaining front corner. Step 4 is now complete. Step 5, attaching the lintel. Begin step 5 by locating the front of the building.
Next, locate the previously assembled lintel assembly, parts 11385 and 11365.
Place the assembly behind the front panels, overlapping the previously installed wall channels.
Secure each side to the front panel, using two 65004 screws, and two 66646 washers.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. After securing both sides, step 5 is now complete. Step 6, attaching the wall channels. Begin step 6 by locating the rear of the building.
Next, and with some assistance, place the 11381 wall channels on the inner side.
Match the holes on the corner panels and hold the channels in place.
Have the flat face facing the panels, and secure each side using one part 65004 screw, and one part 66646 washer.
Fully tighten the screw using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side.
Next, locate two 11370 assemblies, and attach the side wall channels to the corner panels on the left and right side of the building.
Make sure to overlap the corners as shown.
Secure the corners using one part 65923 bolt, and one 65103 nut.
Fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver.
Secure the channel to the panels using one part 65004 screw, and one part 66646 washer on each side.
The screws go on the outside of the building. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side, and attach the second side wall channels. Step 6 is now complete. Step 7, attaching the wall panels. Begin step 7 by locating the front side of the building. Next, locate the left side of the building, and with some assistance, attach 3 wall panels.
Attach 3 part 11343 wall panels onto the corner panels.
There are arrows on the panels that designate the top, and those should always be covered when setting the panels in place. Matching heat top, center, and bottom holes, push the panels into place.
Secure the wall panels using 30 part 66646 washers, and 30 part 65004 small screws.
Insert the hardware into the allocated holes, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the remaining hardware. Insert the hardware into the allocated holes, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Next, locate the rear side of the building, and attach 4 more wall panels. Slowly push the wall panels into place, and match the holes on the corner panels. There are arrows on the panels that designate the top, and those should always be covered when setting the panels in place.
Secure the wall panels using 39 part 66646 washers, and 39 part 65004 small screws.
Insert the hardware into the allocated holes, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the remaining hardware. Finally, locate the right side of the building, and attach 3 wall panels.
Attach 3 part 11343 wall panels onto the corner panels.
Matching heat top, center, and bottom holes, push the panels into place. There are arrows on the panels that designate the top, and those should always be covered when setting the panels in place.
Secure the wall panels using 30 part 66646 washers, and 30 part 65004 small screws.
Insert the hardware into the allocated holes, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the remaining hardware. After all hardware has been tightly secured, step 7 is now complete. Step 8, attaching the door jambs. Begin step 8 by locating the front side of the building. Next, locate 2 door jambs, and 2 front wall panels, and attach 2 sets on each side. Place the front wall panels first, followed by the door jambs.
Part 80209 is the left door jamb, and it gets mounted to the left side of the front opening. Part 11348 is the right door jamb, and it gets mounted to the right side of the front opening.
Make sure to overlap the jamb as shown.
Starting with the top 5 holes, secure the jamb and panel using 5, part 65004 screws, and 5, part 66646 washers.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, locate the second hole from the top and bottom, and secure the jamb using 2, part 65923 bolts, 2 part 66646 washers, 2 part 65103 hex nuts.
Fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver.
After securing the middle section, proceed to attaching the bottom using 5 more part 65004 screws, and 5, part 66646 washers, as previously shown.
After securing one side, repeat these steps for the opposite side, and attach the second jamb cover. Once all hardware has been tightly secured, Step 8 is now complete. Step 9, attaching the front wall channels. Begin Step 9 by locating the front of the building.
Next, place 2 front wall channels, part 11384, inside the building, on the location shown. Secure the channels using a total of 14, part 65004 screws, and 14, part 66646 washers.
7 on each side. The screws go on the outside of the building. Place the channels with the flat face facing the front panels. Insert the screws, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side.
Next, double check the corners are overlapping, and secure the corner inner channels using 1, part 65923 bolt, and 1, part 65103 nut.
Fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Step 9 is now complete. Step 10, assembling the gables.
Begin Step 10 by locating the left and right gable, part 11398, and part 80221. Locate the edge trim, part 69835, and attach it to the top of the left gable.
Slowly set it down in place, into it covers the top edge of the gable.
Next, attach a gable brace, part 6635, onto the left gable.
Push and match the 2 edge holes.
Secure the gable brace, using 2, part 65923 bolts, 2 part 66646 washers, and 2, part 65103 nuts.
Fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, set the assembly aside, and locate the right gable, part 11398.
Repeat the previous steps, attach a gable brace, and edge trim as previously shown. Repeat these steps for one more right and left gable. Next, and with some assistance, mount one left and one right gable onto the rear side of the building. Have the right gable placed on the right side. The right side is from the back facing straight on from the exterior. Make sure to slowly slide the gables into place, overlapping the corners as shown.
Secure the gables using 18, part 65004 screws, 9 per gable.
Insert the screws onto the bottom holes, and fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, attach the gable brace, part 9009, onto the center of both the right and left gables. Attach the brace using 1, part 65923 bolt, and 1, part 65103 nut.
Insert the bolts into the center, allocated hole. Fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the front side, and attach one more right and one more left gable assemblies as previously shown. Once both the front and rear gable assemblies have been tightly secured, Step 10 is now complete. Step 11, attaching the roof beams. Begin Step 11 by locating the back side of the near gable. Before installing the roof beams, you must tape both gable joints.
Locate the tape, part 67293, and tape the gable joints, as shown.
Repeat these steps for the front gable joints.
Next, with some assistance, place the roof beam assembly, part 11386, in the center, near the top of both gables.
Slide the gable brace into the center of the roof beam, matching the two top holes.
Secure the roof beam using 2, part 65923 bolts, and 2, part 65103 nuts.
Fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Next, attach 2 more roof beams to the gables, one on the right side, and one on the left side. Attach one roof beam at a time, and fully secure each end as previously shown. Fully secure all roof beams on both sides. Once all hardware has been tightly secured, step 11 is now complete. Step 12, attaching the roof beam braces. Begin step 12 by locating the bottom center of the roof beam near the back gable.
Place 1, roof beam brace, part 9204 greater than below the center roof beam, at an angle, matching the bottom holes of the gable and the top holes to the roof beam holes. Slide the brace into place, and starting with the bottom hole, secure the brace using 1, part 65923 bolt, and 1, part 65103 nut.
Hand tighten the bolt for now. After securing the bottom bolt, swing the brace into the center of the roof beam, matching the holes on the beam.
Secure the top of the brace using 1, part 65923 bolt, and 1, part 65103 nut.
Fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver. After securing the top, go back to the bottom of the brace, fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side.
Attach one more roof beam brace, part 9204, to the opposite end of the roof beam, as previously shown.
Once both braces are fully secured, step 12 is now complete. Step 13, attaching the roof panels. Begin step 13 by locating the rear, right side of the storage shed.
With some assistance, place the right roof panel, part 11387, on top of the roof beams, towards the rear end.
To make attaching the roof panels easier, prior to attaching the panels, use a hand level and verify that the building is squared and leveled at the top of the walls. Make sure to remove the previously installed edge trims that were attached to the gables. Slowly set the panel in place. Next, secure the panel by inserting the top hardware first, and working your way down.
The side of the panel gets attached to the gable using 6, part 65923 bolts, 5, part 66646 washers, and 5, part 65103 nuts.
First, insert the top screw, and fully tighten the screw using a Phillips screwdriver. Secure the remaining bolts in the order shown, from top to bottom.
Secure the top of the roof panel using 3, part 65004 screws, and 3, part 66646 washers in the order shown.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, locate 3 part 11388 roof panels, and place them next to the right roof panel, part 11387.
Slowly set the panels in place.
Secure the panels using 27, part 65004 screws, and 27, part 66646 washers.
Insert 9 screws per row. Start with the top hardware first, and work your way down. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Repeat these steps, and fully secure the left roof panel, part 80215, on the opposite end.
Fully secure the panel as previously shown. Once all panels on one side are complete, repeat these steps for the opposite side of the shed.
Begin with the right roof panel, part 11387, and continue by attaching 2 more roof panels, part 11388.
Fully secure the panels as previously shown.
Next, assemble 2 ridge caps, part 11390, and 11399 together.
Matching the end holes, overlap the ridge caps.
Secure the ridge caps using 2, part Part 65923 bolts, 2. Part 66646 washers, and 2. Part 65103 nuts.
Fully tighten the hardware using a Phillips screwdriver. Next, place the ridge cap assemblies on top of the shed.
Have the 11390 ridge cap be facing the front of the shed. Secure the ridge cap using 6. Part 65923 bolts, 6. Part 66646 washers, and 6. Part 65103 nuts. Prior to securing the ridge cap hardware, insert one PEEP cap, part 30026, in between the gable and the ridge cap.
Place the PEEP cap in place, and fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, attach one more roof panel, 11388, on the opposite end.
Slide the panel into place.
Secure the panel using 9. Part 65004 screws, and 9. Part 66646 washers.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Finally, place one left root panel, part 80215 on back side of the shed.
Prior to securing the roof panel, attach one PEEP cap, as previously shown.
Secure the ridge cap to the gable using 2. Part 65923 bolts, 2. Part 66646 washers, and 2. Part 65103 nuts. Prior to installing the hardware, insert one PEEP cap, part 30026, in between the gable and the ridge cap.
Place the PEEP cap in place, and fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. After all the roof panels are fully secured, step 13 is now complete. Step 14, attaching the roof trims.
Begin step 14 by assembling 1. Part 11352 roof trim, and 1. Part 11389 roof trim.
Overlap the roof trims, and match the end holes.
Secure the roof trims using 1. Part 65923 bolt, 1. Part 66646 washer, and 1. Part 65103 nut.
Fully tighten the bolt using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps, and assemble one more set of roof trims. Next, locate the front of the storage shed. Locate the right side of the shed, and attach the previously assembled roof trims.
Secure the trims using a total of 5, part 65004 screws, and 5, part 66646 washers.
Place the hardware into the pre-drilled holes. Attach one corner cap at each end, before tightening the hardware. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Attach 2 more roof trims, and 2 more corner caps on the opposite side.
Finally, attach 2, part 66847 gable vents to the gables using 4, part 65004 screws.
Place the vents into the opening slots. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Repeat these steps for the opposite end of the shed. Secure 2 more gable vents as previously shown. Step 14 is now complete. Step 15, door assembly. Begin step 15 by assembling the right door assembly.
Locate the horizontal door channel, part 11375. With some assistance, place 2, part 11374, vertical door channels, on each end of the channel.
Lower the channels into place.
Secure the vertical channels using 2, part 65004 screws each.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Locate the rear side of the channel assemblies.
Next, attach 2, part 11376 diagonal door braces, and 1, part 11377 door handle brace to the vertical door channels.
Slowly lower, and slide the braces into place.
Secure the braces using 10, part 65004 screws.
Insert the hardware in the allocated holes. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, place 1. Part 11375, horizontal door channel on top.
Slowly lower it into place, covering the open top ends of the vertical channels.
Secure the channel to the vertical channels using 4, part 65004 screws. Secure the top diagonal door brace to the top channel using 1, part 65004 screw.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, attach 1 door panel, part 11372, and 1 door panel hinge side, part 11371.
The panels get attached to the front side, over the flat surface of the braces.
Place the 11372 panel first, then overlap the 11371 panel.
Push the panels into place.
Secure the panels using 15, part 65004 screws, and 15, part 66646 washers.
Insert the hardware through the allocated holes. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, attach 1 door edge, part 11373, on the opposite side from the door panel hinge side. Secure the door edge using 3, part 65004 screws, and 3, part 66646 washers.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, place 1, part 11379 astragal next to the door edge, on the side of the door assembly. Secure the astragal using 5, part 65004 screws, and 5, part 66646 washers.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, locate the top of the assembly, and attach 1, part 11378 door trim.
Lower it into place, matching the allocated holes on the top channel.
Secure the door trim using 4, part 65004 screws, and 4, part 66646 washers.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver.
Next, locate the side of the door, and attach 2, part 30040 hinges.
Place 1 hinge on top and 1 on the bottom.
Secure the hinges using 3, part 66783 bolts, and 3, part 65103 nuts.
Insert the bolts through the outside, and nuts on the inside. Fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. Fully secure both hinges. Once finished, set the door assembly aside for now. Repeat the previous steps from the right door, and assemble the left door assembly.
The left door assembly gets the latch spring, part 66808, attached to the bottom of the door. Secure the latch spring using 3, part 65004 screws.
Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Continue assembling the door as previously shown.
After attaching the top 11375 channel, secure one more part, 66684 latch spring on top. Attach the panels as previously shown, and attach one nameplate, part 30028, onto the door panel hinge side, part 80229.
Secure the nameplate using the provided bolt and washer. Continue assembling the left door as previously shown.
Finally, attach one, part 30001, left handle, to the left door.
The handle gets attached on the outside.
Secure the handle using 2, Part F screws, and 2 party washers, plus 2 Part 66646 washers.
The E and F hardware is part of the handle kit. Fully tighten the screws using a Phillips screwdriver. The handle on the right door will be installed later, once both doors are fully attached to the shed. Once both doors are fully assembled, you may attach them to the shed. After both doors are assembled, install the doors to the front entrance of the storage shed. Starting with the left door assembly, and with assistance, mount the door onto the front floor frame. The hinges get attached to the door jamb.
Secure the hinges using 3 Part 66783 bolts, and 3 Part 65103 nuts.
Fully tighten the bolts using a Phillips screwdriver. Secure the hinges on both sides, and fully secure both doors to the shed. After installing the doors, adjust the doors if needed. If doors do not align, make sure the hinges are properly aligned. Finally, secure the parta handle to the right door. Place the handle outside, and the rest of the hardware through the inside. Fully secure the handle. Congratulations! You have now completed the assembly of the EG108 Aero Elite Shed. Do not use your new storage unit until it has been fully assembled and inspected for correct performance, in accordance with the assembly manual. You may anchor the building at this time. Reference the assembly manual for anchoring details. If you have purchased a floor frame kit, you should install it at this time. Please take a moment to ensure that the building is installed in accordance with these instructions, and with all applicable regulations. Enjoy your new EG108 Aero Elite Shed. Brought to you by Aero Storage Products.